Here's hoping these pulls are legendary. Hello, everyone. Bront, CatHerder here. We're having some fun talking Raid Shadow Legends, and we are here on the Paws account because we are going to be pulling some shards. As you can see up in the corner, I have 7 sacred shards, and we have a 2x sacreds, which is honestly a pretty good time to pull for at least an early game account. For later game accounts or accounts that are going to try for fusions, and to be fair, this account should be trying for fusions in general. It's just not trying for this one because both I was exhausted personally and I was exhausted of shards anyway, but in general it is probably a good idea to keep sacreds for fusion. But since this one is in the middle of fusions, I know it's going to be at least 3 or 4 weeks before I need any more sacreds for any kind of fusion of any kind, so I can try to build up my stock back then. That means I'll be able to do at least the monthly stuff, so I'll get at least one from the monthly. I might get one from the login progression, so I've got a few coming at some point when that happens. Plus I'll have a chance to run some Ultra Nightmare. Plus, with an early game account like this, it's entirely possible for me to pull champions that might actually help me with my clan boss team, so that they'll actually, do that 3 key or maybe even that 2 key. Now, honestly, I think what I really need is a blessing to be able to do a 3 key pretty consistently, but until I get that, I've got a team that mostly does a 3 key Ultra Nightmare team, mostly does a 1 or 2 key Nightmare team, and it does okay. So I'm pretty secure at getting shards fast enough where I feel I can pull these 7 sacreds on this account. That said, you have to do the math yourself to see if it's worth it. If you're not going for a fusion, there is no shame in deciding to sit out a shard event. In fact, it's probably the best thing to do. If you're not going for the fusion and you're not going for a specific champion in that particular event, then skip it. So, having said that, we're going for it. And Vizig is really the champion I think would be great. So as I mentioned, we've got 7 sacreds here, and we've got Vizig on the raid up here. Vizig is the Ogrin faction unity champion, and you could argue that maybe Admiral Blacktusk would be better for this account because I have some pretty nice dwarves already. The dwarves faction is generally pretty well stacked, and Blacktusk seems like he might be the best long-term, but Vizig does something that I don't have on the account right now, and that is the fact that he can ignite AoE burns and poisons, as well as he puts his own AoE and poisons out there, and he extends them. So without doing anything else from a Unity perspective, Vizig is one of the most desirable champions on this level of an account, because poisons are great for advancing in some of the normal dungeons and making them more consistent. Poisons can be very good for advancing in the hard dungeons in a couple of cases. That would actually help solve some of the issues I'm having with, for example, hard dragon. The burns can be very, very effective against the ice golem, both the normal one and the hard one. And for the normal one, he's a good affinity that would help me with hard 24 and hard 25, make that a little more consistent. My hard 24 team is mostly 100%, but not quite, because ice golem, and he would certainly go a long way to helping with that. Plus, I know he would help me a lot in a Faction Wars team that I'm really kind of struggling in as well. Not that I recommend necessarily pulling champions from this specifically for Faction Wars, but at the same time, Faction Wars Hard is coming, so having a wonderful team, and I know there's some pretty good Ogrin Poisoners in there as well, including Eurogrim, who's one of my favorite epics, and Stock the Broken, which, to be fair, I don't have him on this account, but if I ever did get him, would be pretty cool. So we've got 7 sacreds. I'm like 9 or 10 into Mercy, and I don't know exactly where I'm at because at the moment RSL Helper is down, but I'm at least 9 into Mercy. So we're going to be hitting Mercy and pushing it further. So hopefully we get something absolutely amazing. It would be helpful. And honestly, I still need epics badly on this account. All right, Bront, you've done enough talking. Will you get to the polls already, you guys say? Well, no, because first I have to say my not sponsor Pepsi is going to get me some legendaries, because that's what Pepsi does. Pepsi is a legendary drink. Hopefully they're going to get me some legendaries, and hopefully they're going to sponsor this legendary channel. Pepsi, call me. Think of all the money you could be paying me. But before you watch the video any further, did you know you can use the link down below and start a brand new raid account and get 2 amazing epics? You can get Rector Drath. You'll get her right from the start, right after the tutorial. And once at level 15, you will get yourself an Ugo. Rector Drath is an amazing support reviver. She will heal your team. She will give you perfect veils to protect you. She will throw decrease attack up there. And she has a revive, making it very easy to get through in the early game. And then on top of that, Ugo, you get at level 15 again, is a wonderful support champion. She does decreased defense, she does block buffs, she does healing, she does cleansing. She is an absolute great champion. Very helpful early game, very helpful at end game. They are very good champions in Hydra. They are very good champions all over the game. I use them regularly on every account that I work on. They are great champions and you can get them for free. But not only that, but in the first 72 hours of your account, you can use code Monkey King to get Sun Wukong, or you can use Supreme 6 to get yourself a Supreme Gallic. Both are amazing legendary. Supreme 6 is a void legendary, so go for Gallic, I suspect. But you know what? Either one of them is absolutely amazing. Start a brand new account today. The steps are very easy. Log out of your Polarium Play account on PC or simply uninstall Polarium Play. Create a brand new account using the link. Download from there, run the install. It'll start up Polarium Play, and boom, there's your new account. If you are on Android or iOS, if you've never played before, you can download using my link and get the same benefits as well. It is an absolutely amazing way to start a brand new account, be it a free-to-play, be it a high-spend account, whatever you want to do. It helps support me, it helps get you into the game, and it's a great way to have some fun. Now let's get back to the video. And with that, and some prayers to RN Jesus, may he bless this account, let us pull some shards. Of course, the dancing helps. That is a Rearguard Sergeant. Rearguard Sergeant would have been a better pull for me before I got Tyrant. Rearguard Sergeant is actually a really good clan boss champion, but I've got Taragi already. She's got the decreased defense, decreased attack, and an ally protection with continuous heals. She is not great outside of clan boss, and I don't need her for clan boss because the champions I have in clan boss are already doing a good job. Now, she could still be helpful because eventually Tyrant may move out of my clan boss team for some reason, and in fact, you could maybe argue that she could be better for clan boss than Tyrant because she's more consistent with this decreased attack. But this is a lot of books to get this working. Decreased defense is nice, but that also means maybe I could get rid of my Ugo for somebody else because she now brings this heal and the ally protection, but now I need to figure out how to block. So she gives me options in clan boss, but probably not going to be invested in unless I decide I need her for that clan boss team. Signy the High Shield. I don't remember what she does. Decrease resistance, yeah, whatever. Attacks all enemies. If this actually hits pretty well based on HP, this could be good because I don't have many useful champions in this faction, honestly. So she'll probably get built at level 40 minimum anyway. Reflect damage and increase resistance, not horrible. When this champion's under reflect damage, a buff enemy attempts to place a debuff has a 20% chance to reflect the debuff back onto the attacker. Not bad. I'm not going to say it's an amazing kit, but an HP-based champion, I can build her kind of tanky. Now that seems to be my problem with my Bannerlords. All my Bannerlords are tanky. They don't, so she'll probably get used, at least immediately, because I am desperate for Bannerlords. There's a legendary. Yeah, woohoo! Okay, this is game-changing on this account. This is actually game-changing on this account. Now, my only annoyance with this is my Undeads is like my best faction by far. And this also can happen for some of these things where you're undead, you're basically your best faction just keeps on getting better and better and better. Ultimate Death Knight is absolutely amazing. Why is he so amazing? Well, it's kind of hard to describe, but we'll try. So he's got a provoke on the A1 that has a 55% chance against legendary champions, books up to a 75% or 50% chance. Not too bad. He's got an A2 decrease attack and fear. Very, very good at placing both of those, particularly against legendaries for the fear. 80% chance. He cannot place the fear against non-legendary champions. It is an AoE attack. This can deceptively do a lot of damage if you want to build him for damage. Probably not the best way to build Ultimate Death Knight, although endgame champ people certainly do it in arena sometimes to surprise people. He's got a shield buff and continuous heal buff on all allies for 2 turns. This is a very good heal, a very good protection, and that shield's proportional to his defense, so the shield is pretty chunky and the continuous heal is very nice. 5-turn, bookable to 3, very book friendly as well. And then he has the too awesome to die. And this is kind of what his bread and butter is. The first attack that's incoming for your team, when somebody attacks your team, will hit Ultimate Death Knight instead, completely blocking one hit, decreasing the incoming damage to 0. This champion will then receive that damage. So basically, he redirects the first hit to him. It does this with debuffs that are resolved from the hit as well. It does it 50% of the time on bosses. It does not work on AoEs. He also has a passive that whenever this enemy whenever an enemy is healed, it heals this champion by 20% of that heal. Basically, he is the best tank in the game because there's very few ways around him that don't involve multi-hits or AoEs. So oftentimes, and in fact, most of you guys have probably seen Ultimate Death Knight in Arena, somebody will stick him in super tanky gear, or better yet, they'll stick him in really, really slow stone skin and let him sit there and tank your hits. And eventually you can get past him if you can kind of outlast everybody else. But he also really pairs well with Sun Wukong, because what happens with Sun Wukong is Sun Wukong will revive himself. So a lot of your ways to get around Ultimate Death Knight, you need to keep doing them at the very least. So he is a great champion. He will be a godsend to this account. He does really, really well in Arena, but he honestly plays really well in other dungeons as well, partially because of this big boss hit he has, but because he also brings all the shields and the healing and stuff like that too. So he is going to be absolutely amazing. I don't have great gear for him, but I've got gear for him. I will find a way to gear him out and make him useful on this account. And yeah, he is going to help a ton. He does also have this other passive here. Increases champion's HP, defense, and speed by 10% for each dead ally. So basically, if he's the only one left alive, he gets tankier and goes a little faster and can possibly hit a little bit harder because he's a defense-based as well. Absolutely amazing. Honestly, in some ways, I'm a little disappointed because he's not the legendary I needed, and he's not the type of legendary I need. I really need poisoners. I could certainly use a better damage dealer, but he is a good tank, and I'm not going to complain about him because he is absolutely amazing. And it's one of the things that I'm certainly know that I'm missing on this account, and it's something you'll see constantly in Arena. And the fact that I now have one is pretty cool. So let's see if we can get another legendary or some other really good epics. That would be absolutely amazing. Ooh, Lady Annabelle. This is good. Okay, this is a Banner Lord that will see some action on this team. Why? Well, Lady Annabelle can solo Bommel with not great gear, which is what I've got, because that's the way this account works. She can do a lot of stuff, but she is really, really good at healing. Basically, this A1 here heals her by 3% of her max HP each hit. So this is like having 2 additional immortal sets on her when she's doing that A1. A2 is a leech and decreased speed. Very, very good debuffs. Could be useful for a secondary Hydra team. Very good overall. She's certainly worth booking. You don't have to book her for what we're talking about with Pommel, but she's good at booked, so not too bad. Revive on Death and an increased speed on the team, both very good. Plus, she does a target HP swap. So the HP swap can help her because she can heal really well. She can start taking damage for some of your other teams. So somebody that's almost ready to die, she swaps health. They're suddenly mostly full up, and then she starts healing. So this works pretty well. It's not great on auto. Auto does not know how to use an HP swap, unfortunately, on a friendly one, but it's not bad. And then finally here, the Red Lady heals this champion by 50% of their max HP whenever an ally or enemy die. And this is what makes her so good against Bommel, because every time those bombs go off, and the bombs do, I think, 40% of your max HP, she heals by 50% of her max HP. Plus, then you put her in regeneration and immortal gear, and it just takes a while. You need to 6-star her if you really want to make sure you're not hitting a turn limit. You get her with War Master. If you get a blessing with her, you can certainly get her with Phantom Touch to do a little extra damage, or maybe even Cruelty to just whittle the defense down so she's doing more damage. She can hit kind of hard. She's not amazingly at doing damage, but she doesn't suck at it either. So you could certainly build her with a little bit of damage. In fact, she's got enough play with how much healing she has that I generally build her with crit rate gloves, because I feel that the crit rate gloves give me most of the crit rate I would need to do what I want to do and still have enough healing and speed. You do need to build her kind of fast. You do need to build her with some defense and HP to be able to take some of the hits. But she does so much healing that she can kind of go through bombs. So she's absolutely amazing. She's a Bannerlord worth building, and she will actually help in Faction Wars as well, because again, as she's a Bannerlord worth building, she's going to be invested to 6 stars, and a 6-star champion of any value will be helpful in Faction Wars as well. So she'll probably be able to solo some of the bosses. So that is good. Annex. Well, my undead grit stronger and stronger. Annex is a great champion. He is an amazing clan boss damage dealer. He is not going to go in my team at the moment because squishy. Although maybe, who knows? He's probably worth investing in anyway. He's got decreased defense on the A1. He's got decreased accuracy and 2 poisons on the A2, and then he's got a weaken on the A3 that heals him as well. So he gets some healing out of it. That's pretty good. He gets used weaken, decreased defense, very reliably on the decreased defense, especially if you have some ally attack or counterattack play going, and poisons. So all good clan boss stuff. He also has this increased defense on this champion when their HP blocks to 75%, increased attack if it blocks below 50%, and he gets an extra turn when this champion's hit points drop below 10%. So the problem that he has is if you put him in an unkillable clan boss team, you have to make sure it's a block damage unkillable team, because otherwise the extra turn meter could actually throw off your unkillable clan boss. But he hits really hard. He's got amazing multipliers. He does all kinds of really cool things. And who knows, maybe if I have the resources, I will build him up and see if I can put him in as a damage dealer in my clan boss team. Again, I'm not 100% sure who he replaces, because he's certainly not going to replace Geomancer, because Geomancer is the GOAT. And he's certainly not going to replace a Tyrant. He would have to replace an Ugo, but then I lose a bunch of healing and some of the cleansing, and so I don't think that's going to work particularly well. He could certainly maybe replace a Tagore, and I would just go slower, but then Tagore's got the revive and more healing and the shield. So in my teams right now, he's not great. Once I get an actual clan boss team going, he's a good option, especially if I can get like a Demitha team going. So absolutely amazing pull. Unfortunately, I don't need good epics. He's a good epic, and I don't need good epics in this faction still. Let's go. And of course, I get dupes because that's what I do. So not only am I getting all the undeads, but I mean, this shard pull session belonged in Halloween. It's just kind of funny. But Gorgreb's awesome. You get the revive all allies and a heal, and this heal happens regardless. So he can be a very viable healer in Faction Wars, which is really good. He's got the increased turn meter and increased attack, mini arbiter level, 15% turn meter and increased attack for 2 turns on a 3-turn cooldown. He's got an AoE that has a chance of removing buffs if you build him with accuracy. It's actually a good chance of removing buffs. I generally don't build him with accuracy because I generally build him either with speed or want him to be certainly tanky or kind of a combination of both. And then he's got a pretty decent arena battle. This has certainly been power crept quite a bit because there's now a bunch of legendaries with 28% speed auras in arena. But back before then, and honestly for very early game as well, this is a great arena aura for a great arena champion. So he can be very useful. I'm still using him in one of my 3v3 teams. He was instrumental in me getting Faction Wars done for the Undead. So, and he's a duplicate, so he's going to help all the rest of my Undead with their stats. So let's get another legendary or something cool. There's a legendary, and that is an Ugir the Worm Eater. I really don't like this guy. He is a 5-star Ogren at the least. He will help me in Ogre Faction Wars, so I'm not going to turn my back on him. And we'll see if I can make his kit useful. So let's review his kit. This is certainly not a Vizug, but all right. A1, stealing, 80% chance of stealing a random buff from the enemy. Also has an 80% chance of placing a block buff on the enemy for 2 turns. Not bad. Books to 100%. 100% chance of stealing a buff on an enemy. Not bad for an A1. It's an A1. Attacks on enemies. 75% chance of removing all buffs from all enemies. Okay, that's got my attention a little bit more. It is a 3-turn cooldown as well, and then places weaken for 2 turns. Wouldn't mind the weaken beforehand. Maybe this will hit for damage. I don't know. I'll have to certainly check and see. I don't think he's a great damage dealer, but he's not a horrible damage dealer. A3, increase accuracy, increase attack, increase defense. The increased defense or increased attack is based on whether or not they need increased defense or increased attack, so that's kind of nice. Not horrible. Only needs 2 books to get to a 3-turn cooldown. You know, I could actually possibly find some uses for this in this level of an account. So not too bad. Whenever an enemy is revived, instantly activates the Earth Puncture. If the enemy is revived by a champion from the Lizardman faction, the effect of Earth Puncture cannot be resisted. So he's an anti-Lizardman Earth Puncture champion. Instantly activating Earth Puncture will not place the skill on cooldown. If there are multiple champions of skill, only one will activate. And then finally, he has a 70% accuracy in arena battle. So he is an anti-revive champion. He is the right faction and the right not the right faction, but the right affinity to be able to deal with Sun Wukongs, for example. So not horrible. He doesn't hit for tons of damage. He's an HP based champion doing HP based damage. And unfortunately, he was really before they knew how to make HP based damage dealers actually do damage. So let me go check quickly and see what his multipliers are. All right, so his multipliers are 0.25 HP, which sounds like a lot. The problem is that most of the good max HP damage dealers, not max HP, but just the general HP damage dealers, get their damage from a double hit. So we'll take a Narcissus, for example. Narcissus has only got a 0.28 multiplier on his AoE A2, but he can double hit with it, making it a 0.56. And that's why he's one of the best HP nukers in the game. Generally, the nukers that you're looking to build to nuke are going to need to be able to do a 0.35 multiplier with their HP, or just have ungodly amounts of HP. His max HP maxes around 22k, 23k. So he's not great. He doesn't do a lot of damage. They're weak rated based in the Hell Hades website. So yeah, he's not great. In fact, we look at the reviews for him and not amazing. But honestly, he is going to be better than some of the Ogryn I have right now in that faction as far as dealing damage is concerned. And some of that's going to be just because he is already 5 stars. So I'll invest into him in some level. Maybe it turns out I'll like him, he'll be absolutely amazing. And maybe it means he'll just be an HP-based champion that'll be existing in my faction war teams for a while until I can replace him with something. We'll see. He doesn't look like he's the worst champion in the game. He certainly has. This skill here has some possible potential on this level of an account. And as an HP-based damage dealer, he is going to be tanky while dealing damage. So maybe I can't build him for damage, maybe I can, but you know what, we'll see what that works. So hey, that was an interesting shard pull session. Got a lot of Undead, got a lot of other cool stuff. Did not get the Ogryn I was really looking for. That's unfortunate. If I get any more Sacreds this weekend, I will probably be eating them. Probably I will be eating them on Monday. So I'll do a video on Monday because I will be going for Admiral Blacktusk on my main. And so if I've got any more shards, I will certainly do that video. That video will drop on Monday, I should say. I'm going to be pulling on Sunday because, Sunday's the day to pull. Don't pull on Monday. Hey, I appreciate you guys hanging out. It has been absolutely amazing. And hey, let's see what I get the chance to do with some of these champions. Some of these champions look really good for me, and some of these champions, we'll see if I can make them work on an account that definitely needs any champion it can get. So appreciate you guys. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you've gotten anything good so far, any champions you are looking forward to pulling later on this weekend, let me know in the comments down below. You guys are, again, awesome and amazing. I really appreciate you. Until the next video, I'm Bront, CatHerder.